So all I have to say is love. Thank you. No, so I have 15 minutes to make an impact on your life, right? And what I need from you are two things. One is your attention, which means please turn your robots off and put them in your pockets. Secondly, I want you to be in your purpose. And we always think of purpose as this big thing, change the world, address the environmental crisis, provide for our families, make $1 million, manifest all our dreams. These are bigger purposes that we cannot achieve unless we live in the present moment. Your purpose is in each and every moment. And if we can be present in that moment, we start to manifest a purpose that is far bigger than you could ever dream. Our purpose right now, your purpose right now, unfortunately for you, is to listen to me speak. This is a room, some of you may have heard this story briefly. This is a room I stepped into about 2 years ago. And I was going to spend 10 days in this room alone, solitary. But the room was going to look like this, because it was in a complete absence of light. It's called 10 Days of Darkness. And I can't go into that in detail. We don't have enough time. But I want to touch on a few things. Why would I do that? Why would I go into a room for 10 days of absolute solitary darkness? I was asking a question, who am I? Because I recognize that everything I define myself by is in relationship to the world around me. I am a male because I know a female. I am a human being because it's a speaker. I am light-skinned because someone is dark-skinned. I believe A, B, and C because you might believe X, Y, and Z. We define ourselves by the world around us. If I remove the world around me, what's left? Who am I? I walked out on day 3, and I believe that God pulled me out of that room. That's probably a 2-hour presentation. But in those 3 days, I experienced anxiety and depression I never thought possible, and I felt like I faced death. And there were noteworthy takeaways. One of them I'm going to share with you today. Now, this question, who am I? Here is the common narrative that we've all been told. I am Troy, and this is my body. And this is who I am. And from the day I'm born, I believe this is who I am. And all of you believe this body is who you are. So get this. If it is, your only certainty is death. That's the only thing you know for certain. And most of us can take a moment and realize, all right, I realize I have a screen here. That is true, right? But here's what we don't often realize. You will be forgotten. Your name, all your accomplishments, thank God all of your mistakes, anything you achieve as Troy in this body, whether it be a year after I leave my body, 5 years, 100 years, at some point I will be completely forgotten. The unconscious programming of our mind or our ego, because it knows this, is self-preservation. Everything I can do to preserve myself and perceive everything else as a threat, I come first. That's the unconscious programming of our minds. Survival of the fittest, we call it, right? And I understand that as human beings, we may be programmed to survive. It's our innate essence, they say. Survival always. Well, I believe in evolution. Not just physical evolution, mental, emotional evolution, spiritual evolution. And I believe in moving from the I to the we, where we are able to put ourselves aside and consider our impact on the collective well-being. Now, here's a question. How many of you connect to some existence beyond your body? Give me a show of hands. Something, anything. Seeing a few hands. If you don't or you're not sure, that's cool. Humor me for a moment, right? If there is an existence beyond my body, even energetic, then what does that mean? Anytime now, what just happened? I am not my body. If there is an existence after I leave my body, then I am not my body. It's like you calling me this white shirt. Well, tomorrow I'm going to change my shirt to a red one. Well, am I still a white shirt? I'm not my body. This is what arrived for me in that dark room when I was asking that question, who am I? I am the resonance and vibration of my relationships. I'm going to say that again. I am the resonance and vibration of my relationships. My life is the contribution to the evolution of human consciousness. When I recognize that, I realize that I am immortal. And I'm not speaking in some far-off language. This is really simple, guys. Get this. I live forever in and through everyone I encounter and all of their experiences. It is impossible for any one of us, including myself, to leave this room as the same individual who walked into it. Because we have now had an exchange. You have been moved. I live in you from this point on. Congrats. You live in me. Every experience I have from this point on and all my conversations and all their conversations, you will live in that. That is our immortality. Don't know why I'm messing up these. So why am I talking about this? Because your organizations have an identity, all of them. And individuals make up organizations. And the individual programming is self-preservation. It's I and me. Consider this. My personal basic needs, overheads of our organization. What people think of me, well, that's our organization's public relations. My social community, my impact, well, stakeholders and clients, which I think are a lot bigger than we might realize of our organization, right? My personal wants, desires, and needs, well, maybe not needs, wants and desires, that's a company's profit. That's a company's profit. And here's general corporate culture, and I say general because there are organizations that have managed to move away from this. And there are moments within our organizations where maybe we might find a way through. But general corporate culture is this. It's profit-driven. Profit over everything. Everything. How often do we meet in 2024 to set a vision for 2025 and say, how are we going to create change in the world? No, we meet and we say, how are we going to make more profit? We'll invest and support social work as long as it improves our image and we are seen. We'll go green as long as we get tax benefits, savings, and it looks good. We'll even invest in employee benefits as long as it improves performance and attendance. The corporate culture is this. How can I benefit? How can my organization benefit? That's the subtle, ongoing resonance. And it comes from us as individuals. It's the I over we. I want to say for a moment, just digress for a moment, emotional corruption. I actually had a post on my social media feed about this morning. We all partake in corruption. All of us. It's not only government and politics and big business and millions and billions of dollars. Our biggest currency is love, support, and attention. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But what if I can't scratch your back today because it might be out of integrity? Will you still scratch mine? If not, that's a bribe. What if you respond to something I say in a way that I disapprove of or rubs me the wrong way? Do I withdraw my attention, my love, and my support? That's a bribe. Stop crying, I'll buy you ice cream. That's a bribe. Corruption exists in our corporations, in our relationships, and we have to try to find them. If you really believe in going green, or environmental sustainability, or social work, what you get back from it shouldn't matter. You believe in something, you commit to it, you stand by it. Now, how do we cultivate this change? A few things I want you to consider from the I to the we. Where's it going to come from? Because a lot of the time you want it to come from policyholders and government and legislation. Sure, maybe, some of it. I believe the majority of it has to come from the corporate and private sector. Has to. And then from us as individuals. Because we are the ones who have the ability to support the projects freely. So we have to look at what are we supporting, what are we encouraging, what is the resonance of our organizations. I want you to consider this. And me and Johnny have had this convo for many years, right? I've come to a point where I realize that environmental change and social change are interconnected. So I just want to give you two things to think about. How can we have a society that cares about the collective well-being when they felt that the collective well-being never really cared for them? You have individuals who are growing up in our society that don't feel cared for or seen or understood, still in survival mode. They can't even see to next week. Some of them not even tomorrow. You asking them to think about 20 years down the line? We have to consider social impact, social well-being, and environmental well-being. Now, if you start investing in environmental well-being and upgrade the surroundings of some individuals, that gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of being cared for. So they're very much interrelated. We have to put people and impact over profit. How long are we going to be profit? How much profit you want to make? How much profit you want to make? That's like I, me. How much you want? What is the resonance of your organization? Simon Sinek talks about the why. You know, some of you might know me from Mystic Hemp, way back probably about Mystic Hemp closed 2010. I opened a hemp store because I was trying to educate people about the environmental benefits of hemp. Never really cared about profit too much, wasn't a priority. Then I had an oil recycling business that would collect waste cooking oil and export for biofuel to Europe. We used to export about 34,000 gallons of waste cooking oil a month. Again, when that began, it wasn't profit. It was, how can I make a difference? How can I not drive my truck on diesel fuel? Then after that, hold on, not there yet. After that, I shifted to realizing that how can we have a world where people live in harmony, a world that is at peace, if the individuals within that world are not at peace with themselves? But all of these projects focused on resonance, not profit. Profit came after, which is probably why I'm not a great businessman. Now, if we don't look at the resonance of our organizations, our certainty is death. Environmentally, death of the planet, death of our organizations. Everyone's going to forget you and your organization. At some point, our certainty is death. Corporate culture must change. Now, you might be sitting there, and this might be your reaction. I know it. Never going to happen. Impossible. Unrealistic. I'm living in a fairy tale. Some of you as well, I'm sure. But get this. How can I change the world? It's a question that I've asked since I was really young. Let's say today, how can I change corporate culture? And the first time I stepped on a stage to speak in the corporate sphere, I realized that if we could shift corporate culture, we could shift social culture so much quicker. Because corporate culture has an impact on social culture. Now, there's an environmentalist called Jane Goodall. She says, you're asking the wrong question. You don't ask, how can I change the world? You ask, how do I change the world? Because every word, action, and thought we step into and we occupy changes the world we live in. It changes the corporate culture. Not how can I take your power back. How do you? Are we having a positive resonance or negative resonance? These arrows really have me today, boy. You change your world every day. Now I'll close with this. I'm often asked, and have been asked, do you ever feel like you want to walk away from it all? Go and live in the South Pacific, surf every day? Yeah, I get depressed, I get down, I get sad, I want to throw my hands up and give up. There's fires, there's war, there's the environmental crisis, there's poverty, there's responsibilities, expectations, inflation, rising cost of living. I could go on and on and on. It's easy to disconnect from it, disassociate from it. And then there's a voice that comes up in my head. The voice says, how dare you? With all that you've been given, all the love, all the support, all the community, all the education, all the opportunity, how dare you not get up every day and at least try to make a difference in every way you can? Arrows again. How dare we not at least try? How dare we not at least try? These are my handles, Troy Hadeed. I want to walk my talk a little bit. This is the book that was mentioned. It is for sale outside at House of Vetiver. But guess what? I haven't covered my cost of that book yet. This is the price, retail price. Today, pay whatever you want. Because I know the resonance of that book will change your life. So I need to walk my talk. I'm putting the resonance and impact on your lives above the profit I can make. Thank you, guys. I love you very much.